Freda is the coordinator of a focusing institute in Germany, senior teacher there, and she's put together this attunement that she's going to be introducing in a minute. And the overarching theme here is summarized by the name New Beginnings, Walking Recreation's Road Together, as we come together in the spirit of what we were doing last week, the I, each of our individual selves within our collective, and joining together to feel what's the future that we want to build together as help for helpers. Freda.
Hi, everybody, and thank you, Stuart, for introducing us all. And we are also delighted that you come together here for a new beginning, for a new door opening up. And with attunement now, I want to put at first sentence, if anything is there, you just invited, please feel free to alter words or phrases I use so that you really feel comfortable with this attunement. Right? Okay, so then just make a fresh seat on your chair, please. Eyes closed or not closed, just as you feel comfortable about that. And take a few gentle breaths into your body. And feel the support of whatever you're sitting on. The groundedness of the earth. And your connection with the skies, the heavens above. And the spirit of life. And notice your breath. As it comes in your body and moves out of your body. And following your breath inside. Notice how you are here right now. And being gentle and curious and friendly to whatever is there. And when you're ready, please ask inside. What has been most helpful for me about this group? What has been most helpful for me about this group? And just wait. Something to come from the inside. And sensing it bodily, whatever is coming up. And you may ask, is there a moment I felt helped, enlivened, or comforted, connected, intrigued, touched, or engaged? Is there a moment I felt helped? And just wait for such a moment to come to mind and stay with it. And if there are several moments, just choose one to stay with. And allow yourself to feel into this one moment right now, asking, what was happening then? And how does my body know about it all till today? And just receive what's coming up. And when you have all this about such one moment, allow yourself to take a deep, fresh breath. And we all have different inner time. So take your time, and then allow this breath to come to make it fresh going further. Yeah. Just feeling freshly into your body. Ask yourself again, what kind of reflections that have been given did I find particularly engaging? What kind of reflections that have been given did I find particularly engaging? Wait, your body knows all about that. And now when moments of reflection or one moment of reflection come to your senses, you may ask yourself, what about those moments made them so special to me? What made them so special? Just sense and feel. Allowing yourself to spend a little time with the feeling of what made them so special to you. And appreciate what's coming up. And when you are ready, take just another deep, fresh breath. Maybe you want to give yourself even a fresh seat in your chair. Move your body a little bit if this is a need of your body. And then ask yourself one more time. What comes to mind right now when I focus on my growing edge? What comes to mind right now when I focus on my growing edge? And wait and listen. Allow your body to sense inside, touching whatever your growing edge feels like. And allow yourself to just receive and to take in what it all means for you. As you are breathing and sensing, being in touch with the growing edge as it feels for you. You may reach out now and sense towards your sense of the group's growing edge as well. Asking, and what to me is the group's growing edge from the body sense? What to me is the group's growing edge from the body sense? And receive whatever comes from within. As you have it and hold it, allow yourself to spend a little extra time with it. and feel the more of it, the more of the feel of the growing edge for the group. And just dwell within this sense of more. And feel what this is bringing up to you. And there may come a word, a phrase, a picture, a gesture or a sound that matches you being with all what the more of the growing edge is offering. And any word, phrase, picture, gesture, or sound, just check it for its sense of rightness. Check it bodily. And if it doesn't fit, then let it go and invite your body for a new word, phrase, or picture, sound, or gesture. And embrace what comes up now to you. Embrace it in your very way, in your very personal way. And see if it's okay now to have a stopping place, a good stopping place for today. And when you're ready, take your time to come from your inner space back into the space of your room. And then back to the space we share all here together. And as you're coming back in your time, here in our space we all share as real physical persons in our togetherness, slowly opening your eyes if you not have yet done that. Maybe you feel you want to make some notes or make a comment into the chat, or even prepare yourself to speak up and open your audio and share whatever is there right now for you. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Freda. That was so beautiful. Wow. I felt like I got so much of the deeper meaning of this project for me with that attunement. So anyone, everyone is welcome. Whatever is there for you right now. We'll have the bulk of our discussion after the breakout rooms this morning, but we want to have the comments that are fresh right from that attunement. I think all of us are just metabolizing all of that, like that whole journey. And if you want to just say a sentence about where you are in doing that journey, maybe not the specifics of it, but what it was like to do it.
Can say real quick to just get things started. Freda, that was so beautiful. You helped take me to the heart of what this circle has meant for me personally, in the sense of belonging in the past year. And then in the last part, really helped open me up to my sense of the whole and the almost impossible to grasp multiplicity of all of our individual perspectives in our personal lives and in relationship to the world we're interfacing. So for me, all of that is here right now. It's no wonder folks are having a hard time finding words. Yeah, you guys can feel that?
Yeah. June speaking.
Yes.
What came up for me was definitely Lynn's face, so giving, so present. I just think of her as, just so giving. And so many connections of people that are close to her and care about her, and that she gives back to us. And then the second thing about the group are the words interbeing, inter-are came up.
Mm. Mhm. Into being and into are. Wow.
Sophie here. Good morning, everybody. I want to follow that because the first thing that came was this welcoming of it all that I feel has been infused by Lynn and many others in this group, and it has allowed me to welcome all of me. And I came to the growing edge of the group as maybe an awake, relaxing engagement, which is connected to my own growing edge.
Mm.
Awake, relaxing engagement.
Awake, relaxing engagement.
My body sort of stayed with this beginning, this opening the door that Freda said, and that Stuart sort of stayed with. And so my body stayed with this as, opening the door for others. And then what this group holds is a sense of like opening the doors and windows for each other. Is a beautiful image of letting light in and letting breeze in and letting people in.
Love that, opening the doors for each other.
I don't speak often, so I'm going to speak to be a person who doesn't speak often who's speaking, because a door was opened, so I'm speaking.
Good. A door was open and you're speaking. I think for me that that captures what my experience of the attunement was. Also this opening the doors for each other, and the feeling of such a huge welcome. Really everybody being cherished and enjoyed in this group, and not having to be a certain way. And that all of the contributors, all the people who did reflections, were all welcomed by us very uncritically, and we took whatever the treasures were that they had, without saying it has to be this way, it has to be that way, you know, but just in such a beautiful focusing way, taking what is and then making it our own, which I think is the essence of focusing, is that we take what is offered and then you don't just take it or leave it, you create it, you co-create it inside yourself, and we're doing that as an entire, you know, community, which is so exciting, that mystery of how we do that as a community.
So we are very curious to hear what you processed further in your breakout rooms. So as Beth and Jim and Nick and Trevor, you are doing all this nice thing of the whiteboard, sorry, that is a mystery, Lynn, of we are able to write here in this live session, in this live meeting, like everybody can see. And we can type into what you found in your breakout rooms as essences or as really things you want us to know. So I invite from the breakout rooms, one person, please. It would be fantastic. Or maybe you want to share it in a tandem, yes, as two people, to bring in, to share in what has been most important or crucial or enlightening for you. And we will make a mind map. A mind map is like a tree or a plant or an organismic picture of bringing together all your different inputs. And as I have no overview of the names of the people in the breakout numbers, I just trust that you make yourself audio free and bring in. So you are just welcome to start. What breakout room that ever starts, please start. What do you want us to know about you, finding, and as essence to the questions of the attunement, want to be saved here on the whiteboard? Just speak out and open your audio. Kelly, is that right? Yeah.
Well, I'll start because we're breakout room 1, so that seems like a good way to know who to start with. And we talked about a welcoming attitude, and all of us were aware of this welcoming attitude, and most of us, or all of us, seem to be resistant to it, and yet we succumb to it somehow. And we also discussed that there was an American quality to this welcoming, that it wasn't something that which the Americans in the group found surprising.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. The welcoming and this quality of welcoming attitude. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all people in your group. Yeah, who's next? Just go on, please.
I'm happy to speak up. I was in the group with Freda and Inchi, and I want to invite you guys to jump in if you want to kind of amend what my remarks. I'm thinking about, doorways and gateways, right? On the one sense, we talked about the experience of belonging that we have, that came from the attunement that Freda led us through. Right. And then there's that sense just that was inherent in the attunement of the opening out to the wider world. Freda had this beautiful image of, I wrote this down, an arena, right, where you have this sense of a center where we're all gathering, and then this sense of the widening out that includes us. We're both in the center, right? And then we're around, as the speaker might be in the center. And then what Inchi opened up, which was the sense of who else is around us in our lives as we go out from here into the world and bring both the ideas of focusing and the sensibility. So we're really at the interface and kind of curious about that. How does, our ongoing being together serve what's evolving, spreading the seed, the good gospel of the focusing, if you will. Yeah, did I get that right?
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. So that is this opening up and spreading seeds and going wider and really making space, like with what you showed, Stuart, with this dynamic of, getting bigger. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. I wonder who is prepared now already to go on, please.
This is Brigitte Bouwingen. In my group, we celebrated the warmth, the welcoming, and the grace of Lynn. When we share, see the smile that is there, and what I feel is that I am landing in the fluffiness of goodness of it's so beautiful to be in that field, the field between the person who resonates and me. It's become so alive. And the picture during the attunement, the picture that came to me was more of a circle, like a funnel. And we all form this. And this is the growing edge. And we are all there. And my growing edge, sometimes it's defined by resonance, like I just said, and I can go forward so easily into the other, which becomes me in some ways, or I have a resistance, and then it takes me to myself, and I have some work to do, and then I can express it again, and it becomes the group experience. So it's so as Stuart shared, it's like it's not like he shared, but that's what I felt. It's like we are all flower and we have all our petals, and there is only one flower and only petals, and we are nourished and we shine and we open and we trust and we feel safe. It's so juicy. So I stop here. Thank you.
Brigitte, that is so juicy the way we got. I get it. I think, yeah, you're really showing it with your body talking, your hands talking, all that, celebrating the warmth and the fluidness of goodness, the field of resonating, this how alive, and this very interesting way of how you describe this interconnectedness of growing edge with a group, growing edge for yourself, how this is organismic, like a flower. That's so beautiful. Thank you. Yeah.
I was in a breakout group. I'm Dorothy, and I was in a breakout group with Steph and Robert. And one of the themes that came out again was that of belonging and how important that was. And also, one person spoke of getting a strength from the group to be able to be more of herself and to offer that to others. And use the image of how the group was like a well for her that she could dip into in a very ongoing way. And another theme was just familiarity, just knowing that very similar faces would be there over and over again, and could count on that. Talking about, fresh newness, the word newness, just ideas were made fresh over and over in so many different ways. Also the meaning of the breakout rooms versus the group, and how it produced such a sense of safety to have the rooms. And a theme came out like the idea of acceptance as you are. And does that mean, can one really trust that to come as you are? What if there's anger? What if there's a negative emotion? Can one trust that that be here also in the group? One other theme was the movement to be at the edge of clarity, like just that the drive for clarity and how the group helps drive that to move toward greater and greater clarity. And also talked about in one of the reflections, the use of dreams, and that can open an underneath place and how valuable that is for us to have that. And if I left anything out, please jump in. That's important to either one of you.
Dorothy, just the window into other parts that you beautifully said.
Oh,
window
thanks.
into other parts. Yeah.
Thanks.
So I guess I need to speak. So our group, several people had images, and that's why I'm hard to put it into words, and that's just why I'm struggling. But one image was the dawn before the sun comes up, and how the sun shines in different parts of the world. And so in spite of the differences, there's this commonality that keeps us together. And then another image was of a tree blossoming in the springtime. And then sometimes in the spring we get a snow, and the buds get stronger. So there's a certain resilience, and there's a cutting edge there. And then somebody else talked about colors, that the colors, it's sort of like there's this core group, which maybe they're darker colors, and then there's these cloud-like circles and pinks and other colors, and how these colors embrace or bring in the calm, inviting warmth of the group. And then another person talked about this collective intelligence and how every person is a jewel, like a diamond, and they have a chance to shine in their way, in their wisdom. And I think I represented everybody. Let's see. And I think my offering was just this transition that I'm noticing. And it's sort of a cutting edge, which can create discomfort, but also something new and relaxed in the shift, and just sort of showing up and new possibilities and a shared understanding that we're doing this together. And certainly feel free to chime in if I didn't represent something correctly.
Yeah, a big thank you to Dorothy and Steph and Melinda. And I made very short notes so that what we have here as signs on the mind map can be filled afterwards in details. I'm sure nothing will get lost. What you said, so precious. And I felt an instinct like I'd love to repeat every word of you, like to take it into an echo and make it really, get us all that feeling of that, because it is so rich and it's so multiple, covering layers. And I have it here on my sheet, and we have it here on the mind map. So keywords like belonging, strengthening, dwelling, familiarity, newness, idea of freshness, meaning, safety, trusting, clarity, window open to other parts, and image like dawn before sun comes up, and community, and colors, and embracing the different shadows of colors, and calming warmth. That is so rich. So big thank you. Big thank you. And I'm not quite sure if there is any other breakout rooms. I just almost feel like taking a breath with all that richness and that fullness, yeah. And that lovely resonance that is all there. And because it's now in the room here, we share all that resonance, what you spoke out, and we see on the screen is all there in the room now, right? And that's so uplifting. Yeah. So as we are here, I just make the next welcome in call. Is there anything left in one group not being mentioned, not being heard? So please bring yourself in. So we come to the full of the image.
I just want to say the resonance and hearing back validates and gives me a sense of safety. And I also want to say I'm glad that Melinda acknowledged the shift in what's happening in the group, because that if it's not acknowledged, I stay with resistance. And when it was acknowledged, it opened me up to welcoming. So I just want to share that.
Thank you, Lena. To really make us being aware how important the acknowledgement is for the shifts we are doing together here. Thank you.
Also to resistance, fears, reluctance that may be in the shift. I was struck by, is anger, is what we call negative, which in focusing isn't just negative, feelings welcome. And we need all the feelings. So I just want to encourage people to articulate the resistance. I loved what you said there, Kelly, about that made you welcome the shift more when you could articulate freely the resistance. But we want to hear the resistance too, because it will really help us all to further in the direction that will deepen and expand.
Yeah, actually, Lynn, I used the word the tension between what was, what we are used to and the new. And the discomfort.
Yeah. I feel that in myself, that I don't want to lose anything. I want to get more. I want us to grow and expand, but I don't want to lose anything of what we are. And so I'm some part of me is saying, oh, but change we may lose something.
And I can't help but hearing, this theme in the context of our cultural moment and what we're hearing from commentators of all kind, that part of us wants to have some sense of continuity, something that's familiar, now that, things are getting better, COVID, springtime, but there's no going back, right? And so there's this inherent thing that we're all making together in this kind of new culture that we want to bring forward together.
Yeah, absolutely. The larger moment of newness and change, and I've been hearing from a lot of people that we've made a little cocoons in a way for ourselves in COVID, and now those cocoons are opening up, and some parts of us are saying, oh, but wait a minute, I'm not ready, or what does that mean? I noticed that what we said was much less crisis oriented than the way that our project began, of helping helpers in a terrible crisis. And the things that we're saying are things about expanding and welcoming. And I wonder if there are people who feel like, but I need help in my distress too. I need soothing. I need comfort.
We just have to acknowledge the beauty of this creation that Freda is creating.
Yes, absolutely. It's and the idea that it's a work of art. It's the us in a beautiful design.
There are so many people involved in that beautiful design. Just want to mention that. I have here a look at the chat, and I see, according to your question, Lynn, that's Inchi wrote, she enjoyed the deep listening, because here the deep listening was so well as she does not experience elsewhere.
Yeah.
I just want to mention the global aspect of this, how much meaning that has for me, that so many different places in the world, that you represent so many different places in the world, especially for a place like America that's so centrally focused, so egocentric at times.
I have a feeling of the us struggling with holding the preciousness of continuity and the desire for forward movement and deepening and expanding.
Yeah, the energy for me right now in the field feels like, almost like a kind of reorganization. Some of us have brought in the metaphor of the cherry blossoms and the blossoming in the trees, and the energy in the group field where there's not a lot of talking is like the kind of boiling under before the blossoms emerge, right? Before the caterpillar changes to the butterfly, there's this quality of we're holding something together that's got a lot stirring, and we're not yet sure what kind of butterfly we're going to yet become, right? So we're just kind of holding this together, feeling into who does this us want to be. And maybe going forward, we're gonna, I don't know yet, but I'm thinking out loud, do a little survey that we send out to people to get more voices than we've gotten yet today. But that's just a thought. Something stirring. We don't yet know where we're going together.
I think it's important for us as the planning circle to say that that in our recreation, in our development, we are really treasuring what we have built and the continuity that we have, and we don't want an upheaval. We want a slow development. So I'm speaking to the resistant parts of ourselves, that say, oh, will something be that familiarity that we need, will that be taken away? And I just wanted to say that the planning circle is very aware that we need the continuity, and we need all of the supports that we have, and adding new voices there. I think it's about time for Dorothy's poem, our closing. So maybe I wonder if we could put this whiteboard in the chat. Can we download it into our photos? I'd love to print this out to have it. I'd love to frame it and put it on my wall.
Yes, so if you go up to the more, there is a thing that says annotate. If you click on that, something should open like a bar, and then a little thing, an icon that says save, and you can save it to your desktop. Jim is also saving it, and maybe could send it out.
Great.
To everybody in the future.
And,
Right.
and I just want to say, I'm just reading comments, and I think this is really important. People don't seem to speak about distressing situations. I'm guessing this may be how to do in the large groups.
Mm.
So I don't know. I just I think this really lands for me because I mean, one thing we did in our breakout groups was also exploring the difference between small groups and large groups. And something that was sort of new for me, besides really liking the small groups, but what was really new for me was in a larger group to express something maybe distressing or angry or frustrating. Mm. It's really how to notice whether people are still with you. Mm. And so it's really less safe. In a small group, I wouldn't have that, that issue because I know everybody's here. Mm. And even if I'm not 100% taking responsibility for my negative feelings, I can still sort that out with the group. Mm. In a larger group, this would be much more difficult. Because obviously people, even if they don't physically leave, they can shift their attention and we don't know, but in a small group, we still know. So I find it interesting that also somebody points out that distressing situations don't get named as much in a bigger group.
That's a wonderful point, Robert.
Yeah.
Thank you. Someone told me about a sign like this of resonance. Is that right? I wonder if we might incorporate that if somebody is speaking about something, especially something that's troublesome, and people who are resonating with that can make a sign, because you can't tell, you know, as you say, Robert, with people's faces in the same way as the small group. But I think that's partly what we're trying to, the deepening and expanding is to find ways of making that large group a home where we can all speak and have what we want to say, have the reassurance that it's welcome.
I'm remembering when we were collaborating on Stewart's, and there's this somewhere in the many YouTube clips of Eugene Genlin, I remember watching him, observing him, and he comes to mind this moment of where he invites a group after some time to say, bring me your troubles.
Yes. Give me trouble, he said.
Give me your troubles. And this is so important. It is so welcome. And maybe as a group, we can remember to bring our inner Eugene Genlin to offer that to our group and others.
Let's hear Dorothy's poem.
Yeah.
Can we put the whiteboard down so we can see each other again?
Yes, that's a good idea. Thank you, Robert. Here we are. Here's our us.
Let's see. Okay. Lately, I've been reading Mary Oliver, who's a favorite of mine, and think of many people now. And I chose this poem because I think it resonates with this whole idea of new beginnings. And also, I think it offers like a welcome to be wherever we are in each moment, individually and as a group. It's called Morning Poem. Every morning, the world is created. Under the orange sticks of the sun, the heat ashes of the night turn into leaves again and fasten themselves to the high branches, and the ponds appear like black cloth on which are painted islands of summer lilies. It is your nature, if it is your nature to be happy, you swim away along the soft trails for hours, your imagination alighting everywhere. And if your spirit carries within it the thorn that is heavier than lead, if it's all you can do to keep on trudging, there is still somewhere deep within you a beast shouting that the earth is exactly what it wanted. Each pond with its blazing lilies is a prayer heard and answered lavishly every morning, whether or not you have ever dared to be happy, whether or not you have ever dared to pray.
Oh, thank you, Dorothy. That's so beautiful. So we will see you next week, and look forward to seeing where we're going from here. Bye-bye now. This is a time when we can all say goodbye together at the same time. Hi, Kathy.
Bye.
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 Have a great week.
Have a great
Thank you, Freda.
Bye.